Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse's understudy.
But you do have a name.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your name?
I'm Steven.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode number 254.
On Now You Know. Brought to you by our amazing Patreon patrons. Support creating independent news every week by heading over to patreon.com/nowyouknow, and there you'll find some awesome perks. We'd like to thank Keeps for sponsoring this episode.
Keeps is a subscription service that makes it easier and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness online.
Look, guys, there's no magic cure for baldness, but you can prevent hair loss from happening in the first place.
The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair or a mullet, like this one.
With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you.
And then your daily supply or treatment is shipped right to your door every 3 months.
Keeps offers generic versions of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss, which makes it way more affordable.
Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention.
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/nowyouknow or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order.
That's KEEPS.com/nowyouknow.
And we're also brought to you by BigBattery.com. No matter what you need to power, Big Battery can provide you with the latest battery tech at the best price per kilowatt hour, guaranteed. Their batteries are easily installed, require zero maintenance, and they're made right here in the US. Pick up yours today at BigBattery.com and use code NOWYOUKNOW for 5% off at checkout. All right, so last week, our very own Starman, Eli, tweeted out,
"Whoa! Tesla Vision is now capturing and seeing the taillights on other cars. Watch the taillights go from lit up red to when the cars are stopped and back to gray when they take off. Another great variable for calculating intent of others on the road." Then
Elon responded, "It will soon capture turn signals, hazards, ambulance, police lights, and even hand gestures." I mean, so are we supposed to stick our hands out the car window? And,
it's not a bicycle. I'm not doing that whole.
So then Drive Tesla asked, will it then be able to react to ambulance police vehicles when their lights and sirens go on?
Yeah, Elon said action will follow recognition soon thereafter. Also, car will listen for sirens and alarms.
So then Kim Paquette tweeted out, "Our cars can hear?"
Not yet, but they will. It's needed for full self-driving.
All right, so wait a minute. Are there microphones in Teslas that listen outside? Like, I know there's mics inside the car, but are there exterior microphones?
We've been surprised before.
So not that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Because I mean,
I've been out of the company for years.
But you've been tearing things apart over on Rich Rebuilds.
Maybe. It's possible.
Interesting.
Put nothing past them these days.
All right, so then Frenchie went on to tweet, "After 9 months of beta testing, it's amazing to see how much progress has been made. Full self-driving beta 9 struggles to get on the highway, but corrects itself by changing routes safely. FSD is ostensibly indistinguishable from human driving." So we're seeing a video here of Frenchie, and the car didn't get on properly, but then rerouted itself, and that's the first time we've seen that happen. So Elon said,
FSD Beta 9 is using the Pure Vision production code for highway driving. Beta 10, hopefully, or Beta 11 definitely, will use one stack to rule them all. That's nice. City streets, highway, and complex parking lots.
So then Aaron said, "Is the data you're collecting from version 9 showing a leap in improvements?"
Yes, Elon said.
Well, of course he's going to say that. What's he going to say? No.
No. Maybe. He says maybe a lot.
He does. Then Holmar's catalog said, "Full self-driving beta 9 is out and full self-driving subscriptions is live. The wait is over. All is right in the world." So then Tony Pham asked, question now is, when will wider rollout happen?
Yeah, wait is over for certain people. According to Elon, the wide beta release, maybe with FSD, Rev 10, definitely with Rev 11.
And Jeff said, "By wide beta, do you mean the button?"
And Elon said, yes.
So then Tech AU said, "No timeline. What are we thinking? A month per release?"
And then Elon replied, roughly.
Two big pieces of news here, I guess. One is that the cars are going to listen, and next is that full self-driving subscriptions are here. And so I just want to go back to the listening part. So the cars aren't listening at the moment, but he's saying it's necessary for full self-driving. And this is the first I think we've heard him publicly say that listening is important for full self-driving, because up to this point, it's been Tesla Vision. Now he's implying that it's Tesla Vision and hearing. And that's kind of my question. When you're driving as a driver, you can be blasting the radio and not hearing anything.
What are you saying?
I'm not talking about you,
Yeah,
Steven.
you are. I know you are. It's fine.
You and Jesse
Yeah.
listen to music really, like, I can hear you guys coming from a block away.
That's so you know that we're
Exactly.
safety first.
But
Loud music saves lives.
But yeah, so when you're driving along, a lot of times you're supposed to be listening for sirens. Most of us don't, right? We just see them in a rearview mirror or something, or we don't see them at all. But Elon's saying that now his cars supposedly are going to be listening for things like that. How important do you think that is for full self-driving?
It's interesting because it looks like their new approach to FSD is to be mimicking what a human does. You know, I mean, we don't have sonar and radar, so they've gone away with those. So it's like, okay, we're going on focusing on vision. We also use our ears. Not all of us, but most of us do.
Right.
So I suppose it is a necessary step. Again, ambulances, you know, I mean, emergency vehicles, it's imperative to hear
Yeah, you
them
can
coming.
sometimes hear them before you can see them.
You can anticipate an accident or something happening, or if you're getting pulled over, you know, I mean, it's kind of, cops flash their lights if you don't see them because you're not paying attention. Then they yell at you, and then if you don't listen to them, then they yell at you more, and then more cops show up. Then the helicopter comes, and then more helicopters come. And then it's like GTA, and it's
You have experience with this?
not yet, but never. That's
Just
not true.
keep watching the Rich Rebuilds channel,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you will. All right, but let's get to full self-driving subscription. It is here. So Tesla has now officially launched FSD monthly subscription. You can currently buy it for $10,000, of course, or now subscribe monthly. We just learned for $199 a month or $99 a month if you previously bought the enhanced autopilot package. So currently this would include navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, auto park, summon, traffic light and stop sign control, and coming soon, of course, auto steer on city streets.
Yeah, for owners who haven't bought FSD and don't have the FSD computer HW3 or Hardware 3, they can still subscribe, but they'll have to pay $1,500 to upgrade the Hardware 3 computer first.
Now, Tesla has been updating the Tesla app, which is where you can find the subscription page under upgrades.
By the way, you can cancel anytime through the app as well.
So we were really close. We had estimated that Tesla would charge around $180 a month. I think we did, we said, okay, we think it's worth $13,000. We went out 72 months.
Yep.
And so it looks like we were really close. Elon seems to have valued it a bit higher.
It'd be interesting to see what take rate would be. I'd imagine that many people would probably subscribe for road trips to just experiment with it, or go like a cross-country trip. And then if they like it, maybe they'll continue to have it. If not, they'll just cancel.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, kind of
Makes
like
sense.
we do with Netflix.
does
But not me. But wait, something you just said during the story just got through my skull into my brain. Did you say that Tesla owners who don't have the latest Hardware 3 are going to have to pay Tesla $1,500 to upgrade the hardware first before they can subscribe?
That is correct.
But Tesla said when those cars came out that they were full self-driving capable. So, in fact, Jesse and I both had cars that had earlier hardware, and we got them upgraded for free.
Right. That's because you both paid for full self-driving up front.
Oh, okay. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be mad at Tesla because this is not like a clear point. This is something Tesla does a lot, which is like it says, hey, your car's fully self-driving. Asterisk, you need another piece of hardware and you need to pay for it. And I mean, I feel like at $199 a month, it might be smart just to upgrade their computer anyway. But I don't know. What do you think?
Again, we don't know how many people actually purchase full self-driving.
It's kind of low, right? The take
would
rate is like
say
25, 30% in the US.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's just because they can't afford to be paying for that computer by themselves. I don't know.
Right. So
Yeah, put a comment below about how you feel about that. All right, we said this would happen, and it just did.
which of what did you say was going to happen?
Well, Jesse and I predicted that Tesla would become a power utility with VPPs. You can watch our video from last November where we said Elon's not going to tell you his next plan, and we laid out Tesla's VPP plan.
Okay, so remind us, what's VPP again?
Virtual power plants. Basically taking your home solar panels and your power walls and allowing them to be controlled by a utility. The utility, in this case, being Tesla, then aggregates all these systems into essentially what a coal or natural gas-fired power plant does, except Tesla's VPP is way quicker, cheaper, and cleaner, and it uses AutoBidder, which is a software platform that Tesla developed to do it all using AI.
So yeah, it looks like you were actually right. I mean, we were talking about VTG as well, so maybe that's something that's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, I think this is the first step.
I think so too. But Tesla just announced the California grid operator forecasts a continued need for Californians to support the grid through 2021, help create the largest distributed battery system in the world, and avoid dependence on the least efficient fossil fuel power plants. Opt in to the Tesla Virtual Power Plant, VPP, and Tesla will dispatch your power wall when the grid needs support while continuing to maintain your energy security.
So if you live in California and you have solar and Powerwalls, be on the lookout on your Tesla app starting on July 22nd as Tesla begins the VPP. I am so excited. I mean, basically, I kind of have a small VPP in a way because National Grid controls my Powerwalls. I actually get paid for this. And I think you're going to get paid for it too if you do this in California. I'm not sure how much, but basically they're using your Powerwalls. So I think they are going to pay you.
Yeah, it's a big game changer in the technology. I can't wait as Tesla begins to roll this out, and more areas around the world are definitely needing that. Think of all the places around the world where the grid's unstable.
Yeah, even in our country. I mean, look at California. Wildfires happen, and National Grid has to shut down their high power lines just because they don't want to start a fire.
Or New England.
Right.
I mean, we get snowstorms and
yeah,
things are knocked out for hours.
This
and
is
days.
huge news.
Yeah.
All right, so JPR007 tweeted out car and drivers EV 1000 list, and let's take a look here. Okay.
What do we got?
Hang on. Excuse me, car and driver. Where's the Model X? I mean, seriously, car and driver, you're going to put the Nissan Leaf Plus on a list without putting the Model X?
The Plus. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Now, Elon tweeted out, not bad, although new Model S has more range and faster charging. 3 and Y should use long-range version, as performance version is meant for max speed and handling, not max range. Supercharger network is being upgraded from 250 kilowatts to 300 kilowatts, so that'll help too.
Whoa.
So, I mean, this list is supposed to be a real-world 4-state road trip intended to benchmark the state of EV technology and the nation's charging infrastructure by road tripping EVs beyond the range of a single charge. That is what it's supposed to do. But where's the Model X?
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think you missed the actual lead of what was being said there.
What lead?
That little bit at the end. Supercharging network is being upgraded to 50 kilowatts to 300.
Wait, whoa.
It's a little more important.
Wait, what is he talking about? Is he saying that all existing 250 kilowatt superchargers are going to become 300 kilowatt superchargers? Will existing Teslas that can take 250 kilowatts be able to take 300 kilowatts? And will this change the charge curve?
We don't have these answers, but Raphael of Teslatino asked that last question. Elon actually answered to him. So let's see what he said.
Teslatino said, how about the potential benefit of more bandwidth for less tapered down charge rates? Would that be a thing?
Yeah, so Elon's response to that was actually tapering down charge rate is simply a physical thing that has to happen as lithium ions bounce around to what is increasingly a full parking lot. Just like a car in a parking lot, which takes longer to find a spot when the lot is almost full.
Okay, so it looks like a 300 kilowatt supercharger will still have to taper after the peak charge rate, but that should still charge the car faster, potentially 20% faster, right? Because if we're going 20% more power.
Correct.
So let's just do some math here. A 20-minute charge.
16 minutes at best.
Right. So, I mean, maybe you're shaving 4 minutes off a 20-minute charge. I mean,
that's time. That's awesome. Yeah. No, actually, the parking lot analogy has been something that's been a popular method. It's like the classic solo cup one that Elon once used back in the day. If we had this table with a bunch of solo cups lined up on it and you had a giant pitcher of water and you went to fill them all up, you could do it very quickly at first, but then at the end you'd have to slow down because you don't want to lose or spill any of the water.
Oh,
it's like the electrons.
Because it's sloshing around.
Right.
Yeah.
And the electrons are trying to find their way to, everything needs the home. Nothing can change the fact in physics that at the end of the charge, it's going to have to slow down. It's harder for them to find their spots.
We're going to discuss this more on this week's Now You Know Investor Club bonus story. So if you want to check that out, head on over to Patreon. All right. So we've all been hearing this. Elon's being sued, and Steve Mark Ryan tweeted out, Elon Musk destroys lawyer in court over frivolous lawsuit. And basically what he's talking about is that, yeah, Elon was on the stand on Monday and Tuesday, and, well, Elon was upset about it. So let's first get into his tweets. He said, Robbins Geller, the law firm suing Tesla and me, was formed by the lawyers who managed to escape prison for bearing false witness, kickbacks, and bribes when they were at Milberg Weiss. They just moved across the street and changed their name, but they're the same people. Then the founder of Robbins Geller, Bill Larach, who clearly had not learned his lesson, was sent to prison. So maybe after that, Robbins Geller learned their lesson? Of course not. Once again, bearing false witness. Amazingly, all this quite relevant information is missing from their puff piece Wikipedia page, which has obviously been whitewashed by paid curators. Easy to tell that my wiki is not curated, as it is a messy hellscape. All right, now Elon again tweeting at 1 a.m. He gets a little
When's the last
sassy?
time you saw his wiki? What is this particular lawsuit about?
So it's become a very common practice for certain law firms to start class action lawsuits on behalf of shareholders. And I'm not saying that they're all bad or frivolous, but this one certainly is. The lawsuit claims that when Tesla acquired SolarCity back in 2016 for $2.6 billion, even though 85% of shareholders in both companies voted in favor of the acquisition, This lawsuit claims that Elon decided to buy Solar City to bail it out and to benefit himself. So they are suing Elon for about $2 billion. Elon said in Delaware court last Monday during 5 hours of testimony, "I don't think Solar City was financially troubled. In order to have a compelling product, you really needed to have a tightly integrated solar and battery solution. And we could not create a well-integrated product if Solar City was a separate company."
Yeah, I found this quote very interesting. When Elon was talking about running Tesla, he said, "To be honest, I don't want to be the boss of anything. I don't want to be CEO. I tried to not be CEO of Tesla, but I had to do it or it would die. I'd rather hate it and would much prefer to spend my time on design and engineering, which is what I intrinsically like doing," which we know that's what he always does.
Yeah. I mean, he's honest even on the stand, you know, when you're typically not supposed to be honest. I liked it when Elon was being questioned by the plaintiff's counsel, Mr. Barron, and Elon explained to the court that the reason he was being a bit combative, shall we say, was because the lawyer used to work at a law firm named Milberg Weiss that we just heard about in his tweets, whose partners went to prison for fraud, and then went to another firm, Robbins Geller, whose partners also went to jail. And Elon told Mr. Barron, "You were mentored by criminals. Then you continue to be mentored by criminals, and that is why I do not respect you. I think you are a bad human being."
Little extreme. I'll give him that. He sometimes goes off the rails. It's interesting to note that the other Tesla board members actually settled last year. It admitted no wrongdoing, but paid $60 million, which was paid by insurance.
Yeah, and Elon did not settle, and I have mad respect for him. He sued for billions of dollars, and he's like, "Let's go to court, bitch, and let the judge decide."
Is that what he said? At the end of the day, this is a giant waste of Elon's time. 2 days on the stand, and I'm sure many more days of prep and meetings and everything that has to go into the case, all to defend against what is obviously a frivolous lawsuit. As many of you probably already know, I'm both a former Solar City and Tesla employee. Maybe you didn't know that, fun fact. But I was there during the entire process of that. They had us vote.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean...
How'd you vote?
How do you think I voted? What do you think I voted for? We automatically became Tesla employees after that was decided.
Right.
And it was an obvious choice. There's a reason why 85% of the people took that.
I mean, at the time, a lot of pundits and analysts were saying, like, this is a bailout of Solar City. They're losing money. And I think on paper, to people who didn't understand solar and who didn't want to understand it, it looks like it's a loss. Why is that?
One of the most misunderstood things about Solar City and its evaluation was the fact that the most popular offering was the PPA, or the Power Purchase Agreement.
Oh, right. I have that on my house. No money down. You get solar paid for by Solar City. I just pay a monthly fee.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. You just get a reduced rate energy bill, and you're producing power from the sun.
Right.
That nuclear fusion reactor in the sky.
Yep.
It's wonderful. This is a 20-year agreement where Solar City would front and pay for the entire system, and then over the course of the term, hit their ROI, or the return on investment, and then they would finally make a profit. Solar City was founded in 2006. It took a few years for them to grow into the country's largest solar provider and then merge in 2016 with Tesla. So the average ROI on a solar system is about 8 years. And being Solar City's tenure was only about a decade, before the merger, they were only about 5 years into being the majority of their systems at their peak growth.
Okay, so I get it. I had my system installed in 2013. Mm-hmm. It's been about 8 years.
Yep.
That's basically paid back the system, like my payments every month have paid for the system. Now it's all profit for Solar City, which has become Tesla. But up until that point, it looked like, oh, you've just been spending money. They were investing money to put solar on people's roofs. And I mean, so Elon basically got to buy the biggest solar provider in the country, cheaply, I think, and then go on to make amazing products like Solar Roof that no one's talking about. Like, that's huge. He's changing the roofing industry, as we talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. But all that got forgotten. Anyway, let's get back to the lawsuit here. So Elon's testimony in the case has ended after 9 hours on the stand. Elon's brother, Kimball Musk, also testified last week. Now it will be up to the judge, Vice Chancellor Joseph R. Slights III, to decide the case.
One other interesting tidbit that came out of Elon's testimony on Monday was that there are currently 80,000 orders for Tesla Powerwalls, but that Tesla can only produce about 30 to 35,000 Powerwalls this quarter due to the chip shortage.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice to actually get something good out of this. I mean, I'm sorry that Elon had to be on the stand for all those hours, but at least we got to see that demand for their products is through the roof.
It's not like it doesn't exist.
Right.
I mean, again, I think that's the main disconnect of why people don't understand it and why this is even happening, because they're sitting there trying to package Solar City as some deal.
And I just want to mention one other thing, which is that all the other directors, basically took the easy way out. They said, hey, insurance, will you cover it if we just settle? And they're like, okay. And they just gave $60 million over this law firm. And that, you wonder why these law firms keep freaking suing everyone? Because, I mean, this law firm made billions of dollars suing Enron, for instance. And you might say, well, that's great. We hate Enron. But they sued them for nothing, like for these same frivolous things. And you wonder why they do it? Because they know they're going to get settlements because the insurance companies don't want to go to court. Elon says, I'm not paying you a damn penny. So good for him, and I hope he wins. And we're going to see later on our poll whether you guys think he's going to win.
It all comes down to Elon's integrity. I mean, if there's one thing that you can't even touch, then he's a man of his word.
Yeah, he's not going to give them money if he thinks he's right, and he's right. Now, do you want to share this story on social media and with your friends? Then our Now You Know Clips channel is for you. We chop up the stories like this one you just saw into a bite-sized shareable video that you can post on social media, share with your friends so that you don't have to share the entire Tesla Time news. Head on over to Now You Know Clips channel and subscribe today. All right, so it's the middle of July, and I'm getting excited about getting our Rivian R1T electric pickup truck.
It's not happening.
What do you mean it's not? It's July.
No, it got delayed.
What are you talking about? No, you're talking about it got delayed in June to July. To now is July. So we are ready to go. Yeah, gonna get my R1T.
Calm down, sir. You didn't read RJ's email on Friday?
Oh, is he personally inviting me into the Rivian family? Let me just read my emails.
That's awkward. It's gonna be weird.
It says it's delayed till September.
Yeah.
What? What? Are you sure? I mean, they already... What? What's their reason?
RJ said in his email to customers, there are many reasons why our production ramp is taking longer than expected. The cascading impacts of the pandemic have had a compounding effect greater than anyone ever anticipated. Everything from facility construction to equipment installation to the vehicle component supply, especially semiconductors, has been impacted by the pandemic. Beyond these unforeseen challenges, launching 3 new vehicles while setting up a multi-vehicle manufacturing plant is a complex orchestra of coordinated and interlinked activities where small issues can translate into ramp delays.
Unforeseen challenges? September? What the? Delayed?
No, here.
September.
I know.
Unforeseen difficulties. There's going to be no summer adventures. You know, they're still making Rivian vans, though, aren't you? Huh?
Don't forget your pills.
You can make vans, but you can't make pickup trucks, huh?
Just take your pills.
Oh, fine.
We're going to get through this.
Are we, though?
We're going to get through this.
Are we?
It's going to happen. I promise. I mean, dude, at the end of the day, Rivian is riding on their reputation to be the first. They want to be the first electric pickup truck in the market.
I wanted them to be the first.
Okay, we all did. Well, kind of, yeah, I did too. I mean, I love the Cybertruck. We got reservations on both, but
it looks like Cybertruck's going to be first now.
No, I highly doubt that. We have had...
Well, I don't know. There's a second delay. How many more delays are there going to be? Why are they delaying it? How can they be making vans but not trucks?
Think about Rivian and think about the way that they operate. Think of how they've been with their press and their marketing. I mean, do you think they want to make a single mistake? They're probably making sure that they have everything perfectly in play.
I was just so excited to drive around this summer.
Hey, hit the like button, would you? It would really help us out with the channel, and it'll definitely cheer up Zach because he doesn't want to keep having to take his medication here.
All right, so Xpeng Huiton, a division of Xpeng, the Chinese car company, has just announced their latest all-electric model, the X2.
I didn't really hear about that. I even flew out to California a couple months ago to test drive.
Oh, right. You were in the P7, was it?
Yeah.
And you haven't heard about the X2?
They didn't bring it? Wasn't there?
Well, let me tell you a bit about it. It weighs 360 kilograms or 794 pounds and has a range of about 70 kilometers or 40 miles.
Did you write that down wrong?
No, I have it right.
Is it a scooter?
No, this vehicle doesn't even have wheels, so it can't be a scooter. This is Xpeng's flying car. It's the 5th generation of the vehicle. It can handle a max payload of 560 kilograms or 1,235 pounds and a max speed of 130 kilometers an hour, which is 80 miles an hour.
So can we fly this autonomously?
According to the CEO of Xpeng, He Xiaopeng, yes. It has 8 independent battery groups, so if something goes wrong with any of them, they can take over. And if everything goes wrong, it has an ejection parachute in case the worst happens.
That's awesome.
So I guess the big question is, if you had shown up in California to ride the P7 and if they had had the X2 ready, would you have, oh, yeah, you would have ridden in it?
Yes, absolutely.
Even before you heard about the parachute?
I don't care.
You don't care?
No. I have a devil.
It's a Chinese flying car.
Well, try it.
Okay.
Comment below if you would ride in one. I'm interested to hear what other people would say, and I'm also upset that they didn't offer this at the track.
Yeah, sorry, dude. But
Yeah.
I'm sure your next time will be in an X2. That I got to see.
It was hard enough for them to get that here. I mean,
I'm not doing it first.
There's no way.
You can do it first.
All right. It's Xpeng, by the way.
Oh, Xpeng.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you know.
So this next story, this has to be a joke, right? The Mach-Eau?
No. Okay, I'm just going to read this directly from the press release. 'Cause I can't make this up. In a Ford commissioned survey, 1 in 5 drivers said the smell of petrol is what they'd miss most when swapping to an electric vehicle. So with almost 70% claiming that they would miss the smell, the aura, the petrol to some degree, petrol was also ranked as a more popular scent than both wine and cheese. I mean, I guess I can agree with the cheese thing. The wine's nice. That's a nice aura. Almost identically to the smell of new books.
Okay, hang on.
I know.
Hang on.
I know. It's weird.
Let's just go to the wine and cheese thing. What kind of wine and cheese do these guys have that they think that petrol smells better than wine and cheese? Like, you don't even have to like to eat wine and cheese, but that smells better than gasoline.
I guess it also depends on what kind of. Some people, there's some cheeses that just smell horrendous, but either way, this is very bizarre.
Wait, so this is a real bottle of gas-scented perfume we're seeing here?
Yep.
Mach-Eau? Ford is going to sell this?
Yeah. Ford did commission the fragrance consultancy firm Olfaction, who did in fact design it, but no, Ford has no plans to sell this themselves. They said the new scent is designed to help usher these drivers into the future of driving through their sense of smell. Rather than just smelling petrol, though, Mach-Eau is designed to please the nose of any wearer, a high-end fragrance that fuses smoky accords, aspects of rubber, and even an animal element to just give the nod to the Mustang hair. You know, so this is made with real horse. I don't like it.
Hang on. They mixed the smell of gasoline, rubber, smoke, and horses.
Yeah.
The 4 things that I think if you're looking for a scent, you're like, you go into the perfume counter at Macy's and like, yes, can I help you, sir?
Yes, I'm looking for a scent for my wife. I was thinking horses, smoke, rubber, and gasoline. Got anything like that?
Why, yes, sir. Mach-Eau, it's perfect. What? Okay, so they made it to not sell it. What? They spent money. There's a lot of money getting spent here. Wait, so where's this scent get used? In the car? Are they going to have this like emanating from the Mach-Eau?
Maybe it's the air freshener in the shape of a pony. You know?
Are you freaking kidding me? Ford is going to like go out of business and they're spending money. It's like if on the Titanic, like, well, we've all heard, right? They're playing music on the Titanic as it goes down. This is like pretty much playing music as your ship is sinking.
Tesla sold tequila. They're probably like, you know, or I mean,
We got our own tequila.
well, yeah, or it's either that or I mean, Elon's Musk. You know, I mean that perfume that people really wanted to have.
I just earlier
smells like successful sustainability.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about how Tesla's focusing on Tesla vision and hearing, and Ford like
They forgot the
right, and
they
Ford's
forgot
like, you
your nose."
forgot the smell. Oh my
Yeah,
God, Ford! Wow, if this is not proof that Ford is going under, like I have predicted that Ford will be gone in 5 years, I feel like this speeds it up.
I do want to try it. I just want to smell it.
Of course
I just want to smell it.
Of course you do. All right, if
Bits
anyone gets a hold of this, please send us a little scent bottle or
Yeah,
something.
Zach can't bring it to himself to buy it.
I would never buy it, but yeah, send us a bottle.
It's made with bits of real horse, so you know it's good. It's 60% of the time it works every time. Dude, the best part is in Anchorman, he says that. He's like, I'm going to be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
It really stings the nostrils.
I was so hoping that was a fake story.
No.
You cannot make this crap up. All right, so this is a bit weird. The Model 3 long range, dual motor, the most popular variant in China, has disappeared from the Tesla's Chinese website.
Huh, weird. So now the only 2 options for the Model 3 in China appear to be the standard range and the performance.
Now, there's been a lot of FUD headlines about Tesla having trouble in China, but let's take a look at the real numbers.
Yeah, the Chinese Passenger Car Association reports that Tesla produced 33,155 vehicles in June and 21,532 Model 3s and 11,623 Model Ys.
So of those 33,000, 5,000 were exported to other markets and 28,000 were sold in China.
Yeah. So this would make it one of Tesla's best sales months other than March even. So
I mean, that's great news, but let's go back to why does it disappear? Is it like just a, 1 week thing because they don't have enough parts, or is it like permanently, do you think?
Yeah, but it's not parts. It's just the long range version. Like it's bizarre.
Is this to get more data maybe? Like if they take it off the website and see how well the standard range sells?
We don't even have the data on what they sell for standard range or long range. I would imagine far more long range than standard range, but maybe.
Only other thing I can think of is batteries. Like maybe they had some, battery delay or something.
That would probably be the only. Honestly, supply chain is probably the only reason that this would happen, because it's not like there's a tax credit incentive, like in Canada.
Right.
It's not anything like that.
I just hope we see it come back soon, because I feel like this will take a ding on their sales in China, but we'll see. All right, time for some Cybertruck updates. It's been a while. So Tesla owners online tweeted out, it's just an opinion, and it's most definitely wrong. Cybertruck will be a game changer and a huge hit. You can bookmark this tweet if you'd like. I feel perfectly confident, and you should. Elon got back to him and said,
to be frank, there's always some chance that Cybertruck will flop, because it's so unlike anything else.
Hang on. Big headline news came out of that.
Here it comes.
Before we even finished the tweet, of course, headlines had popped up and said Elon Musk admits Cybertruck might fail because of its alien design.
Oh my God, it's going under.
But he continued to tweet.
Yeah. He said, I don't care. I love it so much, even if others don't. Other trucks look like copies of the same thing, but Cybertruck look exactly like it was made by aliens from the future.
Yeah. And so, of course, the fuddy media had to just take that out of context and say that, he admits it's going to... He didn't admit anything. He said, I made it because I love it. If you guys like it too, great. And he said in the past, if you don't like it, I'll make a normal looking truck. Like, they know how to make great looking things, but hello, aren't 1 million people signed up to get the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
So
pretty sure
last
the
I
reservations for Ford aren't that high.
Right.
Rivian aren't that high. GMC's Hummer aren't that high.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That doesn't really equate to sales or anything, or what actually has for conversion.
But it does.
It shows interest.
Right. Because look at Model 3, right? There was 4, 5, 600,000 people signed up for that, and it's been a bestseller. So, yeah, I think it does, actually. I mean, you have to put money down. You have to put $100 down.
That's less than 1,000 for Model 3.
But it's still money.
But it's still money down. And I mean, it could be a throwaway thing for a lot of people, but it just does prove there are people that are like, yeah, I'd consider that.
Yeah. Then Everyday Astronaut said, I would love it if it has a trailer camera input so your trailer or RV could have a backup camera on it, improving visibility when towing and backing up. Also very helpful for full self-driving when towing. Make it common standard like BNC SDI for ultimate points.
Yeah, Elon said to that, actually, how about a Wi-Fi camera link?
Even better. Why do you want to plug in wires? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So then Zach from Black Model 3 said, any new info or pics you want to share?
And Elon's response to that was, in end, we kept the production design almost exactly same as show car. Just some small tweaks here and there to make it slightly better. Like no door casually, no door handles. Car recognizes you and opens the door. Having all 4 wheels steer is amazing for nimble handling and tight turns. What? Okay, what?
Yeah,
it had door handles, so those are gone.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
And so, I mean, this was a big question that people had. How do the doors work if there are no handles?
Yeah, and Elon said, well, the truck will recognize you and open the door.
So I'm assuming that means phone communicating with truck through Bluetooth in your pocket. So like you walk up to the truck, and just like now with the Model 3 or the Model Y, it recognizes you. And this time, though, it'll actually have a motor like in the Model X, and it'll open the door.
Yeah.
But could this also mean that the cameras on the truck recognize you?
Yeah, face recognition software could be installed. It makes sense.
I mean,
I don't know if it's fast enough, and I mean, it's kind of a lot more of exacting thing. I mean, if you have it on your phone, you kind of have to. If it's at the wrong angle, it's not going to really work. And
so yeah, sometimes you have to put your butt up against the thing, and
it becomes gimmicky on that point where that's not really what they're looking for. I mean, people want the ease of access. I mean, it is nice that having your phone connected to your car, walking right up to it, you don't do anything. You're as soon as you're getting there,
right, the
mirrors are unfolding, the lights are. It's already like hello.
And if you have your hands full, because this is a pickup truck, and a lot of times you're going to have your hands full, it would be nice to do hands-free door opening.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
They haven't done that since the Model X, and maybe this is the next vehicle to get that.
I don't know. This is a big question. Our pickup truck driver is going to want this.
I'd like it as a pickup driver. I don't think it's a necessary thing, but it's a cool extra feature.
Yeah. And I mean, also just talk about the 4-wheel steering again. That's going to be huge for towing, I think. You do a lot of towing.
Yes.
Tell me, is that something that would make or break towing a trailer?
I don't think it would make or break it, but it definitely alleviates on really tight roads, or I mean, best case scenario is putting your boat in the water. I mean, like if you have that, I mean, you get to a really crowded boat ramp, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I just hope that
That'd be awesome.
As time goes on, if they can get it so that it can put the boat in autonomously, so that you can be like
kind of like a self-park thing.
Yeah.
You get out and you just like go.
Yeah. So I mean, because a lot of times putting a boat in the water means you need another set of hands.
Yeah. No, normally you'd have somebody in the back cranking. I mean, depending on what you have, if you have the automatic winch, or you'd have to hold the button, or you want somebody to be in the boat as you pull it out. So I mean, it would be really cool.
It'd be really cool.
You could control your vehicle from your phone, and then you're already in the boat and ready to go.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
In a related story, Korea Economic Daily News is reporting that Samsung Electromechanics was known to have won a $435.7 million deal to supply camera modules to the largest U.S. EV car maker. I wonder who that could be.
A small and upcoming manufacturer, I would presume.
The company plans to launch a new EV, which gives drivers a rear view through a camera equipped on the car, as the model does not have side mirrors. The EV has more than 8 cameras for self-driving purposes. I wonder which manufacturer and which car we're talking about.
I don't know. There's only so many out there that would do that. But there are going to be cameras all around the Cybertruck. We've seen the cameras. I mean, you have the little scalene triangles in the fenders, those little secret ones that are there. So
it's got to be the Cybertruck.
The front bumper.
Yeah.
I mean, the rear. Yeah. What else?
So I mean, I don't know if we can figure out from this like per camera cost and figure out how many they're making, but that's a lot of cameras. I know that.
Ironically, it's like probably the amount that's necessary for how many reservations are already on Cybertruck or something.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, this is the math of the amount of cameras that you need for that.
Right. That's a million trucks right there.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Math. Well.
Right. I mean,
seriously, yeah.
$435 per truck, 8 cameras. That's $50 a camera. That I mean,
sounds about right. Quite frankly.
There you go.
Cut the irony with a knife.
There's so much to unpack there, and I think you guys should go to the Cybertruck Owners Club, who sponsor the show, to unpack it. There you're going to find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line. And check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future truck owners. All right, so Ethan and Jesse just installed and reviewed a cool product for bike owners, the Fat Rack by SteadyRack.
I'm not familiar with what's this?
Well, it's a really well-designed and well-built wall mounting bracket for fat tire bikes. Because, you know, a lot of times you got a big honking bike, and there's just no way a little bike rack thing is going to hold it.
Yeah, usually they have the small little hook, so... And the tire's just like, I can't make
it work. Yeah, so we've been busy over on the Now Let's Review channel reviewing tons of new e-mobility products and accessories that you're going to want to check out.
So we're going to put a link to the video of that right
about there.
Right over there. So we got a new study conducted by Solar Reviews that shows how much it typically costs to charge an EV using different charging setups.
So let's start with a gasoline-powered car. How much does that cost to fuel in a year?
So a study found that the average, keyword is average, I mean, if you're in New England, California, or anywhere else in the world, this varies drastically, but they found that the average ICE car driver pays about $1,260 annually for gas.
All right. Now, how about if I charge my EV using public charging stations?
So apparently if you used only public charging stations, that would cost about $1,058 annually. But $200 savings over gas. So there's already some savings.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Now, how about if I charge at home using grid power?
That will cost you about $662 per year, or about a $600 a year savings. So
nice. Okay.
We're having that.
Nice.
That's nice.
But lastly, what if I have rooftop solar?
Well, that's everything. If you have Solar Reviews found that charging with rooftop solar only costs $415 a year. So that's a savings of $845.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but where we live on the East Coast, like, you know, Stephen was saying, gas prices are going up fast. I mean, I just saw them shoot past $3 a gallon. Yep. Take a look at this chart here.
Yeah, so the average price per gallon in California is actually over $4 right now, according to Gas Buddy. So
yeah.
Your savings will vary, but if you're somewhere like that, it's going to be real nice.
Yeah. And we're going to cut this up into a bite-sized clip on the Clips channel, too, because this is the kind of thing you want to share with your buddies who are driving around in ICE cars like, I don't get why EVs are so cool.
Yeah, you want to convert people. This is the way to do it.
And that's just 1 year.
Yeah, multiply that by 5.
Yeah. Or
multiply
10.
that by 10.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
You know people that have had their cars 15, 20 years.
Yeah. And gas prices aren't getting cheaper.
Hey, so did you know that 7 out of 10 drivers have downloaded the Plugshare app?
Yeah. It's very popular. I mean, because it's a charger agnostic app. You can see plug scores of chargers, and it doesn't matter what network they're on.
That's true. But that might change going forward because last week EVgo actually announced that they bought Recargo, which owns Plugshare, for $25 million in cash.
Wait, but EVgo is a charging network. Yep. So, I mean, 40% of registered Plugshare users are Tesla drivers.
Yep.
So what does this mean going forward when one of the US's largest charging networks now owns Plugshare?
Well, we just don't know yet. Nick Wild, the CEO of Recargo, says that we are thrilled that EVgo team is committed to the continued independence of our plug score system, increasing transparency, and supporting broad interoperability and neutrality.
I mean, I think the big reason that EVgo bought Plugshare was they got their user base and this. We expect to swiftly move to accept pay with Plugshare, PWPS, on the EVgo network, opening the platform to other charging providers, giving drivers a simple way to use multiple networks and pay for charging in-app using Plugshare's platform.
So EVgo can get data and a cut when users charge at other charging networks through the Plugshare app.
Yeah, exactly. Now, your job, viewers, is to keep your eye on the app, and if you use it, report to us if it starts becoming biased, because that's what I'm worried about. The reason I like the Plugshare app was that you could actually see reviews of chargers, people's photos and stuff. But if they start skewing it towards EVgo chargers, then what's the point? So we reported on a Chevy Bolt fire in Vermont on last week's show.
Oh. There's been another Bolt fire in New Jersey this past week, and GM is now issuing a warning to 2017 through 2019 Chevy Bolt owners.
GM says, out of an abundance of caution, we are asking owners of 2017 to 2019 Chevy Bolt EVs who were part of the recall population to park their vehicles outdoors immediately after charging and not leave their vehicles charging overnight while we investigate these incidents.
Yeah, so in addition to that, GM now says that there have been 8 confirmed Bolt fires since May 25th. An additional 5 that are under investigation.
And what I don't like here is that GM is essentially saying, do not charge your vehicle without monitoring it. But the language they used is vague, not leave their vehicles charging overnight. Okay.
Who does that?
I mean, that's how we all charge our EVs. We don't stand there, like, plug it in and be like, I'm going to watch it charge. Like, you plug it in. Well, I don't, do you?
No, definitely not.
You plug it in, you walk away.
You set it and forget it.
Forget it. But what GM is basically saying is don't do that. Plug in your Bolt, watch it, smell, watch for fires the entire time. Well, no one does that, GM. So why don't you just come out and say, we have a problem and we have to fix it? Because no one's going to do this.
It's concerning, to say the least, because who is doing that?
And I mean, I'm sorry, but the rate of fires that we're seeing shows that there's a problem with this battery pack. And instead of just taking care of it like Hyundai did, GM's like, you know what? I think we can just keep paying the insurance costs of this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's only been a few vehicles. It's fine.
And it's people's houses. I mean, a lot of people charge them in their garages. And it's like, so now you have a fire hazard in your house. I don't know. GM should get out in front of this. This is ridiculous. It's making all EVs look bad because if you're a non-EV driver and you hear this, you're just going to clump them all together. You're going to be like, oh, EVs catch on fire. Told you.
We have some new data from Experian showing U.S. EV sales for the first quarter of 2021.
EV car sales grew 95% from Q1 of 2020 to Q1 of 2021. I'll say that again, 95% growth.
Tesla's market share is 71% of the EV market. Take a look at the top 10 best-selling EVs right here on the US.
Yeah, so Tesla gets 4 out of the top 10 spots. And I want to just point out again, 71% of the EV market controlled by one company. That is as all these other companies have started coming out with their Tesla killers. And as Tesla's Model X and S were pretty much off market. Like, yes, there were some sales, but it was a refresh time.
Right.
This is Q1 we're talking about. No one was really buying them. And they still took the 9 and 10 spot. So this is just like amazing to me. But what's also amazing to me is that the main news media picks up on that they lost market share. Well, of course they lost market share. There was new cars coming online.
No, that's the whole thing. They're not going to always be the only EV in town.
Right.
They've never been the only EV in town, quite frankly. They just were the biggest at the time. So another interesting stat is that California, which last year made up 45% of all EV sales, has slipped to 38%. It's still number 1, but this shows that many states are catching up with EV adoption as well.
And this is good. I mean, it shows that Florida now is number 2 with 7.2% of the U.S. sales, and Texas is number 3 at 5.9% of EV sales. And do you hear that, Texas? It's time to allow Tesla to sell cars in your state. I mean, you can't keep blocking them like that.
5.9%.
You're the third biggest EV adopted state, and you're not going to let Tesla sell their cars.
Thanks,
like,
Austin.
It's an American-made car company,
Thanks,
damn it,
Austin.
Like, these are freedom cars.
So it's always exciting to announce all electric firsts. How about this? World's first all electric tugboat.
Yeah, I mean, tugboats may not be sexy, but they are super important.
Why not?
Well, I mean, this one's, I wouldn't call it sexy, but they're in use almost constantly from the day they're built.
Yeah, actually, Crowley Marine, which has the U.S. largest fleet of tugboats, will be producing the 82-foot E-Wolf electric tugboat. I don't know why they called it a wolf, but they did. They could have used any animal that, anything, any
dolphin.
Fish. They could the E-Dolphin. They could have said the E-Whale. They called it the E-Wolf. So they will be producing the 82-foot E-Wolf electric tugboat with 6.2 megawatt hours of batteries and 4,200 kilowatts of motor power.
Yeah, that's over 70 tons of bollard pull. For those of you in the tugboat market, you know what I'm talking about there with the bollard pull, huh? Now, if you're wondering how much diesel is saved by a tugboat going electric, because that's a savings of 30,000 gallons of diesel per year.
Yeah, that's pretty staggering. In the first 10 years, that's a savings of 2.5 tons of diesel, particulate matter, and over 3,000 metric tons of CO2 saved.
The E-Wolf will be commissioned in San Diego Harbor in 2023, so mark your calendars if you live in Southern California, because we want videos when this starts tugging. So popular PUBG Mobile is now partnering with Tesla to include Tesla in the game. Gamers will encounter the Tesla Gigafactory, where you can engage all switches on the assembly line in the factory and produce Model Ys.
Pretty cool. Actually, self-driving Model Ys in the Tesla semi-truck, too.
Yeah, they say these self-driving transportation vehicles developed by Tesla will spawn randomly along the road in the wild and will drive automatically on specific routes. Obtain battle supplies by dealing damage to the semi to make it drop supply crates. Wait, so we're shooting at semis now?
I don't know. I wish they would spawn randomly in real life, but that's not how it's just not how that works. PUBG Mobile has over 1 billion downloads worldwide, so this is actually pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of free exposure for Tesla. I mean, who needs advertising? Oh yeah, remember last year we did a story on that other game that Tencent owns, Game of Peace, right?
Not war, but peace.
Game of Peace. Yeah, this one's a little more warlike. But
yeah, it sounds very opposite.
All right, so go shooting at those Tesla semis and get your supply crates.
Oof, weird.
All right, Eli is here again with us for the Starman Report.
Sir Richard Branson successfully launched himself into space last week on board Virgin Galactic's Spaceship Two. The rocket-powered space plane took Branson and his crew to a final altitude of 282,000 feet. Just in case you missed it, here's the highlights from the launch.
5, 3, 2, 1, release.
Fire. Welcome to Witnesses, you're clear to unstrap.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do.
What nice words from Branson to all of us dreamers out there. And quite a few dreamers have signed up. So far, the company has already sold 600 reservations for tickets on future flights, sold at prices between $200,000 and $250,000 per seat. Branson isn't the only billionaire going up to space this month. Jeff who? Bezos is going up to suborbit on Tuesday, July 20th with his Blue Origin rocket, the New Shepard. In a July 9th tweet, Blue Origin put out this statement to highlight the difference between Virgin Galactic spaceplane and Jeff's Blue rocket. New Shepard was designed to fly above the Kármán line, so none of our astronauts have to have an asterisk next to their name. For 96% of the world's population, space begins at 100 kilometers up at the internationally recognized Kármán line. Now, once we get past the Kármán line, beyond orbit, and into deep space, we're going to need some new solutions to cut down on travel time. And well, after this week, nuclear-powered spaceships are one step closer to reality. NASA and the US Department of Energy, the DOE, have partnered and funded 3 design concepts that could eventually become part of a thermal nuclear propulsion system for faster and more efficient deep space travel. Experts say that a nuclear-powered rocket could cut transit time to Mars in half compared to what's required with chemical rockets. It's unknown what the final solution will look like yet, but there is a good chance that it will be nuclear, because you can't beat the ratio of weight to energy production from a nuclear reaction. Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Starman Report, and I look forward to having you back for more of the most exciting news in space.
Thanks, Eli. In addition to the adventures of Starman, Eli also runs My Tesla Adventure YouTube channel, where he's been busy testing full self-driving Beta 9. So I urge you to head on over there, check out all of his coverage of Beta 9. Link is in the description below. All right, it's time for Into the Future.
Escape into the future.
So Morgan Stanley's Tesla analyst, Adam Jonas, just sent a note to his clients saying, in our view, the chance that Tesla does not ultimately offer products and services to the eVTOL or UAM, which is urban air taxi market, is remote. The potential skills, transferability, and network adjacencies are too strong to ignore. Wow, what great language analysts use. Network adjacencies. Just fit that into your next sentence that you're having with your boss sometime.
Well, sir, I was thinking that network adjacencies would be good in the upcoming intertransferability sector.
And you know what he's going to respond to you if he's going to say, well, your potential skills are transferable.
Okay, so don't say that to your boss.
It's like, ooh, that got weird. Yeah, so did Jonas say what this could mean for Tesla's stock price then?
What could a slice of the eVTOL UAM TAM be worth to Tesla? So that is vertical takeoff and landing, urban air taxi, and total addressable market. Thank you, analysts. Well, we have run a range of scenarios flexing market share and EBITDA margin assumptions based on our global eVTOL UAM model, a $9 trillion TAM by 2050. Yes, 2050, discounted back to the present on a per share basis. We're coming up with the potential preliminary outcomes on the order of $100 per Tesla share on the low end to approximately $1,000 per Tesla share or more on the high end.
Huh. Funny. I'm going to look up Morgan Stanley's current Tesla stock price and target that they have. $900.
Wait, so that's Morgan Stanley's current target Tesla share price?
Yeah.
But they just said it could be upwards of $1,000 just for the VTOL part.
Well, someone's
not listening to their own analyst.
There's a disconnect there. Well, maybe he needs potential skills transferred.
Yeah, I mean, his argument basically is that, Elon has said that he's interested in doing this and that, of course, Elon's got the best engineers in the world. But, I mean, and I'm not saying that they won't do this, but, I mean, I just feel like Elon's so busy that if he was going to do this, he would have started like a skunkworks doing this.
Probably.
I mean, or maybe he is doing it. I don't know.
It could be in the shadows.
Yeah, it could be. What just bothers me, though, is that analysts don't take what's right in front of their eyes. We just talked on this episode about VPP, which is way bigger, I think, than this is because, I mean, it's happening right now. All right, it's time for Going Green. And this week's Going Green is sponsored by EcoWare. We now plant 10 trees for every order, and we want to thank our friends at the Eden Restoration Projects for doing all that tree planting. Head on over to EcoWare, check out your new designs every week. We carbon offset the manufacturing, the shipping, and the life cycle of your purchase. And not only do we plant the 10 trees, but we also cap a well. Our friend Paul in the Netherlands wanted to share this story about a group in the Netherlands called MEERBOMEN.NU, or translated to More Trees.
Very nice pronunciation.
Thank you.
Look at that. Yeah, so the organization wants to save 1 million tree seedlings this year from dying. Now, this is their third year in operation. The first year, they saved 50,000 trees from dying, and the second year, last year, they actually saved 500,000 trees from dying.
So how do they get those seedlings?
So they would ask people like forest rangers, green estates, forest owners, etc. to submit their places where a lot of the seedlings are growing that could be harvested.
Okay.
So the saplings that would be most likely to be removed, cut in forest maintenance, or would not make it in that area because the forest canopy blocks all the sunlight and die because of that reason.
Oh, okay. So they gather all those seedlings with volunteers. They move them to tree hubs, which are small plots of land where the seedlings are stored in the ground until the next planting season. And then the seedlings that survive the winter are distributed almost for free.
Yeah, could you imagine the ones that have a canopy over them the whole time? How are they going to grow?
Right.
It's not going to happen. So they actually take a small donation for cost of transport, 20 cents per tree. People can pick up the seedlings and plant them in their own garden and then go to farmers or estates that use them on their land and grow trees for shade or for hedges, municipalities who make land available for planting new trees.
Well, that's nice. So yeah, if you live in that area, head on over to the website, check it out. Maybe you can donate some trees or volunteer.
Yeah, or plant your own. Go do it right now.
Yeah.
Just pause this and go plant a tree.
Feels good. All right, it's time for sunspots. So what is this I read about President Biden's Instant Solar app?
So this is a tool called the Solar Automated Permit Processor, or Solar App Plus.
Solar App Plus. I like it.
Solar App Plus. It was developed by the U.S. Department of Energy and the National Energy Laboratory, and so far, it's been tested in 4 communities in California and Arizona.
So does this app help reduce the time it takes for homeowners to get their solar systems reviewed and permitted?
Yeah, actually. In fact, the testing of the SAPP, or the SAP, or whatever you want to end up calling it, has lowered the review times for an average of 20 days to 0, which anybody that's gone solar already knows what this process is like. I worked in solar. You know this because I had to set you up with this process. Do you remember how many days it took?
Yeah, it was longer than 20 days. Yeah, I mean, because this is an average. Like in certain places, I'm sure they're good about it and they probably get it done in a week or two. Like, but like in our market, it's forever.
In our market, yeah, the average lead time for that is actually about 90 days.
And you might be saying like, okay, well, this isn't really cost, but it is cost because if you have a solar installer ready and they don't know how to predict when, like, because there's no prediction. It's like you hand in your permit. I mean, imagine going down the DMV, right? What sucks about the DMV is that not only it takes forever, you don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know if you should allot an hour for lunch, you know, or a week, because you get in line and then it's just like, when are they going to call your number? How long is it going to take? Are you going to get to the front of the line and then they need some paperwork you don't have? Same thing here. If you submit your paperwork and there's something wrong, you got to start all over again.
Imagine a deli that you went to that you never got your sandwich.
Right. So the Biden administration's goal is to decarbonize the U.S. electricity grid by 2035, and the DOE has the goal of speeding up the permitting process to 5 times faster than the current times, which at the moment, like you mentioned, can take weeks.
And so here's the thing. You might be saying, wait, who cares? What's a few extra days? But the truth is that local permitting process can add up to 1/3 of the cost of the solar installation because every community is different. And so installers have to learn how each community does it. And then there's unexpected delays. So the new app could help reduce costs considerably.
So we asked our friends at EnergyPal if they thought this new app would help. And they said, EnergyPal is very hopeful that the new solar app will accelerate solar permitting in the near future as more and more communities begin to use this tool in the permitting offices. EnergyPal issues similar automated tools for designing and planning solar projects, and Solar App is a great complement to speed up the downstream process to get solar on the roof more quickly. And also, Elon weighed in.
Yep, he always does. Improving permit approval speed and lowering the permit costs for solar would make a big difference. And it really would. I mean, at the end of the day, who wants interconnection is one of the worst parts of it too, when you're waiting for the utility who purposely drags their feet because they're like, oh, we're basically losing a customer.
Yep.
Let's just
how long can we wait?
Yeah, let's shuffle this paperwork down quite a ways. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, you don't learn this stuff till you get solar, and then you just get so irate when you find out how much just inefficiency there is in the system. And if you want to go solar but you have a lot of questions, contact our friends at EnergyPal. They have tons of answers and they're all going to be free for you. You can hang out with them, ask all your questions. They'll show you, what's the best option for you, and then you'll feel confident in your decision. So check that out. The link is in the description below. Tell them that Zach and Steven sent you. All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. Who do we have this week?
This week we've got Kevin from Iowa.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. This is Kevin from Colorado, reporting from the rest area of I-80 in western Iowa. This rest area is dedicated to Iowa's most abundant energy source, the wind. Here we have a plaque dedicated to Iowa's commitment to renewable energy. Siemens Energy donated one of their wind turbine blades back in 2011. This blade is 148 feet in length, 11.2 feet in width, and weighs just over 23,000 pounds. This blade I would consider a baby compared to the wind turbines that dot the landscape here in western Iowa. As you can see, it goes way up here into the sky. And the ones that are out currently in operation are much taller, towers and longer blades. This is in such a contrast to other parts of our country where you hear the steady sound of oil pumping stations operating to bring their toxic energy-producing hydrocarbons to the surface. These giants stand majestically producing megawatts of energy. Now you know.
Well, thank you, Kevin. All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. And what would we have this week? We've got another police department that gets a Tesla.
Nice.
We've got shipping a GigaPress and a Model X survives a tornado. So if you'd like to check those out, head on over to patreon.com/nowyouknow, and you can sign up for $1 a month to check out all these cool stories.
Who doesn't want to see a tornado?
All right, we're back from the Patreon bonus stories. It's time for our Patreon shout-outs. These are the people that support us at $5 or more every month, and without their support, we really can't do the show. All right, so here's who we have this week. We have Mohammed Basiri.
We've got Nate Buck.
Michael Grace.
Joshua Bishop.
BJ Minkst.
Eric. Only Eric.
David McDonald.
Fred Smith.
David.
Ted Plazewski.
Anthony Blige.
Johan Sundstrom.
Vishnu Singh.
David Finkelstein.
Greg Peterson.
Jim Davis.
Chad Eshelman.
Sean and Aldona McLean.
Anthony Talota.
Matt Marino.
Darius Thornton.
Doug Little.
Peter Doshent Wierowski.
Gary Martin.
And Scott Theobald. Thank you so much, guys. We couldn't do it without you. All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week, and buckle up because we got a lot of them.
There
All right.
are.
Earl of Frunk Puppy said, more confident, smoother, fewer disengagements, amazing new UI graphics, needs an update or two before wide release. I have zero doubt that Elon and Carpathy will reach full self-driving.
And Elon responds, accurate assessment. By the way, autopilot software is technically led by Ashok, Andre, and Milan, but it's very much a Knights of the Round Table structure. There are so many talented engineers on Autopilot AI team that they decide for themselves what to work on. Kind of like Valve.
Oh, so the software, the game company?
Yeah.
Interesting. Elon went on to say, we are breaking ground soon on a second Raptor factory at SpaceX Texas site. This will focus on volume production of Raptor 2, while California factory will make Raptor vacuum and new experimental designs.
Yep.
By volume production, I mean 2 to 4 engines per day. That's super high volume for big rocket engines, but low volume for automotive standards. Yeah, can you imagine if they're putting out 2 cars a day? Then Zephyr Rocket said, what volume production are you aiming for? Quantity of Raptors per year?
And Elon said, roughly 800 to 1,000 per year. That's about what's needed over 10 years to create the fleet to build a self-sustaining city on Mars. Gosh, he's something. City itself probably takes roughly 20 years, so hopefully it is built by 2050. What?
So Elon would be about 70.
Yeah.
Everyday Astronaut said, at Starbase or McGregor?
And he said McGregor.
Tank Watcher said, is the plan still to have an engine factory at Starbase, or has that changed now there will be one in McGregor?
And Elon said, the challenges of operating at Starbase left us with no choice but to put the engine production in McGregor. Which...
Interesting. So just like space, limited space, or limited people?
I would imagine so.
Or limited places to live. Then Eric Berger, who we interviewed, by the way, you can see the interview right here, said, so Texas is going to have an orbital launch site and a major rocket engine factory in addition to the Starship build site. That was hard to imagine even a few years ago.
Yeah, and Elon's responded to that. Yes, it would be the highest output and most advanced rocket engine factory in the world.
Austin said, I just want to say thank you, Elon, for never giving up and working hard to make sure the future is worth looking forward to. I wake up every day excited to be alive, and I strive to help share that excitement with all. Aspire to inspire for Mars. Keep on rocking on, Elon.
And Elon said, thanks, Austin.
And then Richard Branson said, thanks for being so typically supportive and such a good friend, Elon. Great to be opening up space for all. Safe travels and see you at Spaceport America. Now, that's what I like to see. Camaraderie. I mean, Elon was there to see Richard Branson off for his historic flight of Unity 22 last week.
In his kitchen.
Yeah, Elon said, congratulations, beautiful flight. He said, spaceport design is cool. And then we got to see Elon's feet.
Yep, bare feet. This is going to go right on the Feet Wiki page.
Yeah, so Kelsey said, to have billions of dollars in those cabinets, what's the point? And Elon said, it was Richard's rental house, which overall is great, but I agree regarding the cabinets, haha. This was 3 a.m., day of flight, wasn't expecting this brutal picture of me to be posted, but oh well. Antonio said, the universe is probably littered with the one planet graves of cultures which made the sensible economic decision that there's no good reason to go into space. Each discovered, studied, and remembered by the ones who made the irrational decision.
What a statement. One planet graves of cultures. I like that. Yeah, and Elon said, exactly.
Yeah, he's not going to let us go down and be a one planet.
One planet grave.
No way. Oof. Greg said, here's a picture of one of the largest Dogecoin whales and Elon Musk.
And Elon responded, it's true. X is a toddler hodler. Never once has he said sell.
So like if one day X comes in the room, he's like, Daddy, sell. He's just going to sell all his Dogecoin?
I doubt it.
Eric X said transparency mode through speaker system at low speeds, like driving with the top down, hearing all of your surroundings.
Elon responded, that is an interesting idea. I'm going to agree.
Okay, what is he talking about?
So transparency, I mean, it's like on your noise canceling headphones, you have the transparency mode on that. So you can hear ambient sounds that are outside of them. So you could have your car, you could be in your car, have your windows up, everything all contained. Or if you're in a convertible, you have the hardtop on, and you still hear everything outside.
Because it's just
as
tuned?
if it was like being with a convertible.
Do you think that'll be an option with the SpaceX thruster package?
I don't.
Transparency mode?
I don't.
Going into transparency mode.
I don't think it won't not be an option. It just seems like a strange one because I like the idea of the noise canceling on the inside and not being. They could use the exterior mic, and if there is something, they can interject and be like, "Hey, sirens of an ambulance are coming at you. You should probably hear this."
Wow.
You know, but you can take out all the terrible road noises and things like that.
Jeremy said, Elon Musk is the CEO we deserve. And Elon said, corporate speak is human ambient. Yeah. I love that he doesn't speak in normal corporate crap, like we heard from Adam Jonas earlier.
Or Lloyd Oystertag.
Or like we heard from this guy. Elon tweeted out, haha, BuzzCorp made of 100% buzzwords. You need to check this out. We can't play it here, but yeah, go check this out.
We definitely can't play that here.
And then Elon tweeted out, toddler car seats and gamer chairs are the same.
That's a good meme.
Then Khaled said, Elon.
Keep going.
Ankh-Afnakansu was a priest of the Egyptian god Mentu who lived in Thebes during the 25th and 26th dynasty. This is the original Elon Musk.
And Elon responded to this, I'm actually 3,000 years old, but at risk of being immodest, I think I looked good even for 2,500 years. Still have my original chariot license in papyrus.
Always one good to joke. Elon said, took more work to make F9 booster reuse cost effective than went into recovering it in the first place. This is an important point. Things finally clicked into place with Block 5. My hat is off to everyone at SpaceX, NASA, Space Force, FAA, and suppliers who helped make it happen. So he's talking about the fact that like it took a lot of money to figure out how to make that happen. Kind of like what we just talked about earlier with Solar City. He looks at the long term, folks, not at the quarter to quarter. So he knew it would take a lot of money to make it reusable, but now it's paying dividends. Kind of like how Solar City did. Tyler said, what was the most expensive part of reuse? Was getting the fairings back in one piece the key component?
And Elon said, booster is more than half the cost of mission. Fairing is around 10%.
Elon said, those who attack space maybe don't realize that space represents hope for so many people. And Toby Lee said, exactly. Becoming a multiplanetary species will reduce the chances of human extinction exponentially. Even if we make Earth perfect, inevitable factors like overpopulation, lack of natural resources, or a big natural disaster will wipe us out regardless. We need to think long term. And Elon responded,
population collapse is what's actually happening.
Yeah, so people talk about overpopulation, but he went on to talk a lot about population collapse. So Tyler said, have a few more for us, Elon.
And he said, I'm trying to set a good example.
Speaking, I guess, about having X, Elon said, I'm trying to set a good example. Population collapse is a much bigger problem than people realize, and that's just for Earth. Mars has a great need for people, seeing as population is currently 0. Humans are the custodians of other life on Earth. Let us bring life to Mars. And then Sam Kelly said, for people wondering what Elon is referring to, here's the chart. It's a real thing, and it won't take too many generations for it to be a real problem. Keep procreating, Elon. Tesla Southern said, but we'd like a girl, please.
And Elon said, me too. And then he also said, the next baby will be a girl. I don't know how he says that, but...
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to keep going till he gets a girl? Elon said, this is a major problem. Between civilization ending with a bang or whimper, this trend suggests the latter. And he posted this, due to the lack of banging, civilization might end with a whimper. Adult diaper sales growth is much higher than baby diaper sales growth. That's an important stat, I guess.
What a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said he did some light reading with little x. Vala said, in the last 20 years, software ate the world. In the next 20 years, AI will eat software.
And Elon responded to that, even smaller, to a Neuralink chip.
And Pranay said, didn't you used to fly some old Russian fighter jets for fun some years ago?
And Elon responded, yeah. Casual.
What a cool billionaire.
I mean, he does always wear the bomber jacket, you know, and the aviator glasses. He's good to go.
Christopher tweeted out, game changer, life changer. These are obviously Starlink stats from his new Dishy McFlatface.
Wow. Download. Look at that. 260.
Yeah.
Upload is 14.5 meg. All right. That's amazing.
Yeah, Elon said, glad it's working. The sheer amount of work done by SpaceX engineering, production, and launch teams is amazing. Ping should improve dramatically in coming months. We're aiming for less than 20 milliseconds. Basically, you should be able to play competitive FPS games through Starlink.
Right on.
Adam Klotz says, is ping being improved due to new satellites with better hardware or just more satellites on Earth orbit?
And Elon responded, more ground stations and less foolish packet routing to make the biggest differences. Looking at the speed of light as roughly 300 kilometers per millisecond and satellite altitude of 550 kilometers, average photon round trip time is only 10 milliseconds. So a lot of silly things have happened to drive ping greater than 20 milliseconds. Yeah.
Can you see him going into his engineers like, come on.
What's the meaning of this?
Yeah,
Why?
figure this out. Pranay said, does having laser links present in the newer satellites help in improving speeds and reducing the latency, or are they mainly to provide internet connection in the polar regions?
And Elon's response to this was, laser links in orbit can reduce long-distance latency by as much as 50% due to a higher speed of light and vacuum and shorter path than undersea fiber.
And then Tesla and the Gong said, no need for base stations eventually?
And Elon said, some traffic could go to the terminal, satellite to terminal, and never touch regular internet.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Then Everyday Astronaut said, get your bookmarks ready as we're keeping track of SpaceX's Booster 3 and its progress toward a static fire net next week. Read up on what's happened so far and bookmark this article to stay updated.
And Elon said, probably Monday.
So that's today.
Yeah.
And then Eric X says, possible Booster 2010-3 Raptor configuration.
And Elon said, very accurate.
Wow, you get an A+ there, Eric. And then Eric went on to say, any Starship update to look forward to in the near future. Would love to hear more about Starship's rapid reusability with catching system, etc.
And Elon said, some of these design trains are still open, but will be resolved soon.
So he's still figuring out how to catch that booster, huh? Then Facebook tweeted out this rather mundane AI interaction, which don't bother watching it. It's so dumb. To date, AI chatbots have had a rather short MTH, which is mean time to Hitler score. Tay was about 16 hours. So that means basically you get them talking, and because they're just grabbing things from the internet, they generally start to become just hate bots. Raphael said, can we talk about how Elon Musk is going to launch Booster Ship 420 to orbit and how Booster 3, which is on the pad right now, is 69 meters tall with the engines?
And he said, well, that's just pure coincidence.
Then lastly, Charlie tweeted out this meme, and Elon said,
I'm going to space, orbital right. And he just laughs.
Yeah, so Jeff Hu. And if you want to get your Jeff Hu t-shirt, which was very popular, by the way, head on over to EcoWare, because this is more and more making Jeff Hu reality. All right, so we had a big poll question this week. Will Elon win or lose the $2 billion Solar City lawsuit? What were the outcomes?
Yeah, we had an overwhelming response of, naturally, people were saying about 343 said Elon's going to win, about 12 said, nah, might lose, and then looks like a few were just uncertain.
Well, this is good because our patrons are usually right. So hopefully the judge rules in Elon's favor. Yeah.
I get it.
All right, it's time for Community Mail Time. And I want to remind you guys to send your stories in to hello@nowyouknowchannel.com. Let's see what we got this week.
Andrew's Electric lineup by Top Speed, a 2020 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, 140 miles per hour top speed. The Flight Test Aero RC plane, 45 mile per hour top speed. The Rad Power bikes, Rad Mini, 20 mile per hour top speed. The Ryobi RM480E riding mower, about 6 to 10 miles per hour, depending on whether the blades are on.
All electric. That's so cool.
That's pretty sweet.
At least it'd be great to get like
do a race of all of them. Yeah. Well.
Avneet sent us this photo we took of a refresh Model X at the Fireball, California Supercharger. He said it had manufacturer plates on it, so they must be testing out the refresh there.
I mean, very likely.
Steve sent us these photos from a new Lucid Motor sales location at the Oakbrook Mall in Oakbrook, Illinois. They showed a new Lucid Air prototype, which they will not allow anyone to sit in.
Huh.
He says the funny thing is about this location is that it was a Tesla retail store before Tesla service stations, and it's only recently closed because they built a local service station in the adjacent town. So they're taking a play out of Tesla's playbook there.
I mean, what's the best way to do it?
DC wrote to us and said, today, while I was riding my bike and enjoying the beautiful weather here in Ventura, California, I came across a BMW iX. Here are a few photos to share.
Cool. Yeah, so Brian sent us these shots that he took of the Rivian R1T driving around Irvine, California. Obviously testing.
Testing. Taunting, more like it.
And then we also have another one. It looks like viewer Tony B spotted the Rivian R1T in Chicago, near the University of Chicago, and he says, hey, Zach, that's your color, right?
That's my Rivian. They're driving it to my house right now. I knew it. I knew you'd come through, Rivian. This is my Rivian. That's the color I chose. RJ, I'm right here. I'm here. Just drive it east. Keep going east, and then it's coming to me.
It's not happening. It's not yours.
I know. I forgot. It's delayed again. Oh, do I have to have my pills?
So it looks like you need to pick me up.
I certainly do.
I mean, You can't just keep having
pills. I can't keep popping pills for this.
That's not going to be it. So we had Peter send this to us. So let's take a look at this. I'll read you the letter. I bought a Model 3 in September 2019, and I scoured YouTube to find out more about the car. Obviously, I found your channel. I learned more and more over time. Then I thought, why don't I just get a quote for solar? No harm. It's just there. It's a quote. I found it could be cost neutral for a few years, and then I get completely free energy. Excellent move when I got that installed just before COVID, and I'm working from home. I was saying to my big sister and my parents how well this new car was doing and how cheap it was to run. Yeah, over the period of the time, I think the drip, drip, drip worked. And when my parents' cars needed some serious work done to it, they asked me what cheap EV they could get before they moved house. I helped them buy a used Nissan Leaf. They only go about 30 miles in a day, and it was cheap. My sister uses her car for her property rental business, and her car started to need some work done, and she had looked at EVs before, couldn't make the numbers work. When the MG ZS EV started really pushing in the UK and they had some great deals, she bought a brand new ZS and can now write the purchase off against her business tax and save loads of money on fuel. When my 19-year-old gas stovetop started leaking gas, I straight away went to an electric induction model as I already have solar and battery, and it was a no-brainer. I've started a Facebook group for people in my village to help promote EVs and answer their questions. Guess where I get a lot of my information from. So this is the change so far. Thanks, guys. You are helping people change. Peter.
Thank you, Peter. That did cheer me up. I don't need pills.
You don't need
I don't need the pills anymore.
You're going to be all right.
I can wait. I'll wait. All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews, and we've got our beautiful Supercharger this week. This is from Trent in Tasmania. He sent us this photo of the Supercharger at the ferry terminal in Devonport, Tasmania. Now, you might be looking at that and going, well, there's only one Supercharger in all of Tasmania. But if you turn on the circle there, the 175-mile circle, you see that it covers the whole island. So basically, that's all you need. Yeah. Tasmania, you're all set. All right, so it's time for new Supercharger reviews this week. Let's see what we got.
Well, hello, Zach and Jesse. This is Wood Hughes calling you from the lovely Oxford, Alabama, right off Interstate 20, more or less halfway between Atlanta and Birmingham, Alabama. You've got a really nice Tesla charging station here in a Target-based shopping center. As you can see, it's got a lot of food. Firehouse Subs, one of my favorite sub shops, is right next door. You've got all kinds of other little things to eat. Got some really nice restaurants, including Longhorn across the street. And of course, the CVS Pharmacy right down the street as well. I gotta admit, this is the nicest one I've seen so far, so I give it a 10. And now you know the same. Bye.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. This is Kevin from Colorado at the 8-stall Tesla Supercharger location on the east side of Brighton, Colorado. This location has easy access to I-76. However, the only place that you can go for a bite to eat, a bathroom break, and possibly Wi-Fi is at this Come and Go. There is nothing else out. I would give this a 4 out of 10 due to the sparsity of choices at this location. Now you know.
Hey Zach and Jesse, it's Joanne with my Model Y here at the brand new Supercharger in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. These are 8 stalls here at the back of a brand new Wawa. If you know anything about Pennsylvania, life revolves around a Wawa. So it's kind of here in the middle of, not nowhere, but there's not really much around here. If folks are aware of this area, Route 202 is probably the biggest road in the area. There's 8 stalls here, aside from being iced a few minutes ago with an old pickup truck. There's really nobody here, but we're getting great speeds and probably go get a coffee in a minute. So now you know.
Hey Jack and Jesse, I'm here at the Monterrey Supercharger. It's a 6-stall urban supercharger, 75 kilo, located within the Punto Valles shopping mall. I'd rate this location 7 out of 10 because it's not available 24/7 and it's an urban charger, and mostly because these two superchargers have been out of commission for months. So we would really like Tesla to look into it and fix them. Other than that, it's a very convenient location. And this is Sal reporting for Tesla Owners Club Mexico. Now you know.
Hey Zach and Jesse, we're here at the Richmond, Indiana Supercharger. It's a version 3 in the parking lot of a Meijer grocery and other store. There's really nothing close walking distance other than the Meijer, though it does have a lot of amenities inside, restrooms, etc. I'd give this a 7 out of 10. Very easy on and off the highway, but effectively nothing to do other than the Meijer, though great charger, getting really good speeds.
Thank you guys so much. I love it when you guys are giving us these supercharger reviews. Head on over to the Now You Know website where we've got a supercharger review website page all set up for you guys. You can submit them and maybe we'll use them on the show. All right, so it's time for new superchargers this week. What do we got?
We've got number 50 in Sweden, a 12-stall, 250 kilowatt Uddevalla Högstrup, Sweden. That's a hard one.
We got number 33 in Hong Kong, the 3-stall version 3 in 2 IFC, Hong Kong.
We've got an 11-stall, 250 kilowatt in Karlsruhe, Germany.
A 6-stall version 3 in Adderstone, UK.
A 2-stall, 130 kilowatt in London, Brent Cross, UK.
16-stall version 3 in San Diego at Miramesa Boulevard in California.
Number 39 in Virginia, an 8-stall, 250 kilowatt Norfolk North Military Highway, Virginia.
232 in California is the 20-stall version 3 in Commerce, California.
We've got 8-stall, 250 kilowatt in Cardiff, UK.
Number 95 in France is the 20-stall version 3 in Rivesaltes, France.
Number 11, Finland, 12-stall, 250 kilowatt Kuopio, Finland.
Number 80 in the UK, the 8-stall version 3 in Folkestone, UK.
Number 32 in Japan, a 4-stall, Tokyo, Daikanama, Japan.
And number 36 in Pennsylvania, number 1098 in the US, number 2869 in the world is the 8-stall version 3 in Bowmansville, Denver, Pennsylvania.
Cool.
All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway, and you're going to have to get that big bucket of fun here up onto the table. Give it a spin, and Steven's going to be picking out the winner. The winner's going to get a $30 gift card to EcoWare, where we carbon offset all of our productions. So if you want to get a t-shirt like the one Steven's wearing, or maybe the one I'm wearing, which if you can read Chinese, says Gigafactory China. All right, so give that a spin, and the winner is going to be drawn from one of our Patreons. So to get your name in this big barrel of fun, join us on Patreon. The more you support us, the more opportunities you have to win. So who is our winner this week, Steven?
Looks like we've got Jim Mance.
Congratulations, Jim. You are the winner of our Patreon giveaway. Jesse will be back for next week's show. Thank you so much for Steven for filling in for him. And this was kind of last minute, so thank you. And a parting thought here. The world works best when people are nice. So be kind to a stranger this week. Let someone into your lane, or wave at someone, or just be friendly, and give your loved ones an extra hug. So we'll see you next week. Now you know.